For all the best boxing content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and punch that bell for notifications.
Our 3 judges scoring on a 10-point must system will be John McKay, Tony Paolillo, and Carlos Ortiz Jr. Our referee in charge will be Gary Rosado. Introducing to you first, to my right, fighting tonight out of the blue corner. He's wearing black trunks with white trim and weighed in at 143 pounds. Fighting out of Los Angeles, California, by way of Tijuana, Mexico. His professional record consists of 19 wins, 9 defeats, 1 draw, with 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pavel Miranda. And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing red, white, and blue, and weighed in at 144.5 pounds. Hailing from Brooklyn, New York, he has a professional record of 21 wins, just 1 defeat, with 4 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Gabriel Tito Bracero.
Well, Bracero certainly is the favorite tonight. Might even call him a prohibitive favorite tonight. Pavel Miranda from Mexico.
Hey, gentlemen, I gave you specific details.
Coming off several losses.
Tell you 2 things. Protect yourselves at all times. Protegete a tiempo. Obey my commands at all times. Obey the same instructions. Touch gloves, bang at the bell.
Gary Rosado giving the instructions. Round number 1 about to kick off.
Well, what makes this interesting style-wise, Ron, is that, as Brian mentioned in the tail of the tape, Miranda has the reach and the size advantage, yet he's an aggressive fighter. So that should play right into Bracero's counter-punching hands. And Bracero, not a big puncher with only 4 knockouts, but Pavel Miranda's been stopped in 6 of his 9 losses. So let's see if that affects this fight.
No question. Now, he has scored 8 knockouts out of his 17 wins, but again, you've got to question the opposition in those fights. Miranda from Tijuana, Mexico. So Tito Bracero, by the way, he's landed some decent shots to start this round, and it didn't look like Miranda took them that well.
Well, if you have not watched Tito Bracero, just look for him to stay on the jab, stay in the pocket, so to say, but give angles inside the pocket.
Well, his fans are urging him on.
Yesterday at the weigh-in, Victor Flores, who is Miranda's chief second, said, hey, if Gabriel Bracero thought Chop Corley was tough and a handful, just wait till he fights Miranda. That was another way of saying the game plan is to do what Chop did, which was to knock Bracero down, try to hurt him. Bracero showed tons of heart in that Corley fight, and let's see if Miranda can do what Corley did.
But did I miss something? Was Miranda a former world champion?
No, sir, he doesn't have any of the qualifications of Chop. I'm just reporting what the trainer said.
Are you saying that it's easier to say that than to do it, Brian?
Of course. If you think Chop is tough, then see him. I mean, yeah, listen, he hasn't shown me the patience and poise of a Chop Corley, because Chop was able to counterpunch Tito Bracero at the right time.
Not too much action in this first round. It's Bracero that's doing most of the throwing and landing.
But as advertised, Miranda trying to make the fight, trying to come forward, not always using his size.
Good right hand landed by Bracero. And as you said, he's not a one-punch knockout guy. Boy, Miranda, when he gets hit, he just took a left hook, and it didn't take it very well. Right hand to the head by Bracero. Now things get a little nasty. Gary Rosado's not going to tolerate that. He's going to warn both guys about hitting on the break.
And I'm okay with that.
You're okay with hitting on the break?
No, I'm saying I'm okay with neither guy backing down.
Got it.
Early on, you want to have that mental toughness, and you want to show your opponent, listen, I'm the boss in there. I mean, neither guy was overly dirty, so to say. So that's why I say I'm all right with that.
That wasn't a horrible offense, that's for sure. No points taken, none needed.
Now, one of the other things with Bracero, Tito Bracero suffered pretty bad cuts in the Corley fight and more recently than that. So he doesn't, you know, the extracurricular activity may not be what he's looking for right now. He'd like to get out of a fight without opening those cuts again.
We're coming to the end of round number 1 of an 8-round fight. And he doesn't expect to see that criticism too much longer. Round number 2 starts. 2 of 8.
Also, Bracero looks a little thicker than usual. He's 144 and a half pounds. We're used to seeing him at 140.
Right.
So this is a little bit over the weight.
Well, part of the reason is because Tommy Gallagher's trainer said he have him in weights right now, lifting weights. So.
There was a time when weight training was not a recommended activity for fighters, but obviously it's fully embraced by the fight community now.
And I'll tell you, with the added weight, watching Tito Bracero punch in this fight, he looks a little more determined to try to lay some serious leather on his opponent than usual. He's committing to his punches a lot more, not just looking to score, but looking to hurt his guy.
And he does have a target there in Pavel Miranda. This is going to be a little bit of a test of his punching power because he is getting some shots in there. Let's see if he can do something with a guy who has been stopped before, as you pointed out. Good right hand, that hurt. Pavel Miranda, when he takes those shots, almost always goes off balance. Is he hurt? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe just as you say, poor balance.
Bracero pounding away when Miranda went into the corner. But Miranda comes right back. Give it to him.
One trademark of Tito, patience. Patience and consistency. That's what separates him from a lot of fighters. Is he the fastest? No. Is he the most gifted? No. Does he hit harder than most fighters? No. But he's very smart, and he's very, very consistent with his effort. And we're seeing that again tonight.
Oh, he took a good right hand from Miranda. That may have been the best right hand landed by Miranda in this fight. Best punch landed by him in this fight. We're in the second round of an 8-rounder. About a minute to go. That is the very popular Tito Bracero in the blue trunks with the white stripe and the red front.
And Miranda would not get anything done if he's just going to charge forward and throw one big shot every 5-10 seconds. Tito's much too disciplined to get caught up in that.
Well, Bracero's just pecking away with that left jab, showing a little bit of movement right now, and his fans, which he brought a lot of, as usual, cheering him on. Good left hook landed by Tito.
Do we see a little swelling under the right eye of Tito?
Boy, I don't see that. He has taken some punches, but nothing. Yeah, you're right, though. It does look like a little swelling under the eye of Tito Bracero. Well, we're back to action. We're back to live action with Tito Bracero in the red trunks and the red front, blue back against, well, so far, a guy who has not been able to hang in there with him, Pavel Miranda from Mexico.
And I think the problem with Miranda is he certainly looked at the fight against Chop because he's looking for one shot. Chop was able to drop Bracero 2-3 times with just one punch each time. So he's looking to just throw one big shot.
Well, with his height advantage, you think he might try to jab, but that's really not Pavel Miranda's way. He doesn't fight the way he's built.
And he's not the huge puncher, perhaps, that his record might indicate. Again, records being very deceptive. He just landed a good left hook. Bracero, who's got a tough chin anyway, didn't even flinch. But Bracero is trying to be more active and effective this round, by the way. I'm not saying he's winning the round, but I think doing a better job.
Well, Bracero's activity has always been one of his strengths.
Once again, that straight, he landed almost a left jab, almost thrown as a cross, and now he lands a right. And again, the guy goes off balance. Miranda goes off balance whenever he catches a hard shot from Bracero.
And this is a very good style matchup for Tito Bracero. You know, he's primarily a counterpuncher, and he has short arms. He doesn't have a long reach. So when fighters come to him, that plays into his hands. And that's what Miranda's doing. He's coming to Bracero, walking forward the whole time and not behind very much of a jab.
Yeah, the Brawl Matador type matchups for him, with him being the Matadors, will always favor him because he's so patient and he has good eyes on the inside.
Well, he's certainly handling Miranda fairly easily. Crowd getting just a little bit restive, but Tito Bracero still doing what he has to do to win this fight.
And Miranda seems the kind, I've seen him a couple of times before. He's not the type of fighter that's going to adjust in the middle of a fight very much. Sort of a one-trick pony. He's going to try to wear you down with his pressure. And as Ron has suggested, he hasn't won the early rounds, so can he adjust? Well, he's made no adjustment so far.
And he's going to have to gain the respect of Bracero, and he has not done that at all. We go to the end of round number 3.
So he has been applying that pressure thus far. He hasn't been successful landing a big shot, but he is getting closer with that pressure. So you just tell him, you know, keep the momentum. You want him to see, you want him to throw more punches. That's it. Well, you see, he's right in Tito's chest.
Well, round number 4 of 8. We're almost at the halfway point of this fight. Bracero landing some very nice left jabs on the right hand.
You could see Tito thinking, trying to set up that straight right hand with those jabs.
Now, he often doesn't throw that right hand with huge authority. You noticed, Steve, that earlier in the fight, it looked like he was kind of teeing up those shots a little harder than we've seen him do in the past.
Yeah, especially in the first round, Ron. He came out, maybe he was trying to seek a quick KO. It didn't happen, so now he's going back into what he does best and what he's most comfortable at.
Yeah, generally speaking, once the leather starts flying, you don't find a guy changing his style hugely during the course of a fight. He will eventually go back to his whatever he is most comfortable with and has done all of his career.
But that's not a bad thing, though.
No, it isn't.
Again, he's a little slower than Tito, and he's not cutting the ring off. But at least he's not giving up on his plan, his game plan.
You talking about Miranda?
Miranda, that is. I'm sorry.
Well, Miranda continues to move forward. And then he takes another hard right hand to the head. Took it pretty well that time, did Miranda.
Nice uppercut by Miranda. That's what I'm saying. He's getting closer. Is Tito Bracero cut? In the right eye?
Yes.
Of course. Wouldn't be the same if Tito Bracero didn't get cut.
Yeah, it's been happening every fight now, and that cut looks like it's at the corner of the right eye.
And Miranda just tried to throw a big left hook. So look for Miranda to throw hooks. There you go. He should be cutting Tito off. He should be moving right.
He landed a good right hand to the head, did Miranda.
Best punch of the fight for Miranda.
By far. Now, Gary Rosado warning, I did not see Miranda use his head. Perhaps you did, but he has been warned about using his head. So Bracero facing a little adversity now. Takes a left hook to the head. Took a hard right hand to the head, and now he's cut. Bleeding a fairly nice trickle of blood coming out that corner of that eye. Now, that's not the worst place in the world for a cut.
Yeah, as long as it's not on the eyelid, and as long as it's not dripping into the eye, Tito's been through this before. He's not going to panic, although the blood is increasing.
Well, Miranda having the best round by far of the fight for him.
Yeah, he landed some big clean shots this round.
Getting a look at that cut. We're trying to find out if they have scored that as a result of an accidental headbutt.
Yeah, I think Rosado said headbutt. But I'm trying to get confirmation from the...
And that cut's in a worse place than I thought it was, guys. Miranda really got life in that round as a result of that cut. As soon as he scored that cut, he really unleashed some effective punching.
Yeah, he was energized by the cut. Sometimes the cut energizes the fighter who's bleeding. Sometimes it energizes the fighter, the other guy. Yeah.
You never know.
And let's keep in mind this fight is official. So if they stop the fight because of the butt-induced cut, we would go to the cards.
Absolutely. And that would certainly favor Bracero anyway at this point.
I think Brian has an update for us here.
Melvina Lathan, the chairman of the chairwoman of the State Athletic Commission, said it was a headbutt.
Headbutt, okay. Well, that means it would go to the scorecards. I love what Miranda is doing. He takes a hard right hand to the head, but Miranda really doing a fine job in round number 5.
But he's doing what he told Steve he's going to do. So I expected him to lose the first couple of rounds. But if your game plan is just to come on and get stronger, then everything is falling into place for you if you're in Miranda's corner.
Well, it's up to Bracero
to put a stop to that.
To change the flow of this fight right now, because he's been cut before, so he's not going to panic because of the cut. We know that. But clearly the cut energized Miranda.
Now this round has been close enough that it could be called either way. Neither guy has done anything really effective in this round. Bracero being the little more active of the two.
Well, a round like this, I decide who controls the round. And that's why I give it to him.
I got to go with Miranda in that regard.
Right, he's controlling this round so far. I mean, a minute left, less than a minute left.
And so far, good job by Tommy Gallagher in the corner, not only the trainer, but the cut man for Bracero, because I haven't seen much blood, if any.
It looks like he has stemmed the tide of that blood for sure. And again, that some good body punches landed by Bracero and a good headshot right hand landed by Bracero. And a good right hand landed by Bracero. So Bracero coming on very strong as this round comes to a close. Does that change your mind? Good domination, good control by Miranda throughout much of the beginning of round number 5. Bracero coming on strong late.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a tough round to score. First half for Miranda, second half for Bracero.
They always say you remember who finishes, right?
Exactly.
And since they say it, I think I'm going to do it.
We're coming to the close of the 5th round. And we are looking into the corner of Pavel Miranda, who had a great 4th round, less great 5th round. Now in the 6th round, that is Tito Bracero in the blue trunks, back, red trunks front with a white stripe down the side. Miranda in the black trunks with a white stripe.
And Brian Adams, would you agree with me? I like Tito better at 140. I mean, 5 pounds doesn't sound like a lot of difference, but it can be. I like the way he looks, and I like the way he fights better when he's 140. He just seems a little sluggish tonight, not as quick as he usually is.
Right, exactly. Good observation. At 140, he's a little tighter physically, and he throws the volume. And his punches are much, much higher at 140. He works the jab, he stays in the pocket, throws combinations consistently. Really haven't done that tonight.
And Bracero in the 6th round is once again taking control early, which he wasn't doing over the last few rounds. Rosado gives a brief warning to both fighters.
Yeah, Miranda just complained that Bracero is using his head.
And actually, I really don't see
to some extent, to some extent, if you see the replay, when you see the action, when they come close, Tito tucks his chin and his head goes forward.
And being the shorter fighter, it's going to naturally end up there.
Right.
Good left hook by Bracero.
Last time out, Pavel Miranda was absolutely annihilated in 1 round by a hot prospect named Frankie Gomez. So I think he took Bracero coming off that fight thinking, well, Tito's not a big puncher. You know, I'll have a chance to at least wear him down. He doesn't seem to be winning the fight, but he's still standing, which for him, you know, a guy who's been stopped 6 times is somewhat of a victory in itself.
And he came very close to, well, my goodness, I'm giving him too much credit for winning a round. I don't want to do that. But he did have some very good moments. I'm talking about the Pavel Miranda.
And the MVP of this fight for me right now is Tommy Gallagher. I haven't seen any blood since that cut.
Amazing.
And that cut was on the eyelid, was it not?
It was.
Yeah. Tommy always said, if a trainer cannot stop a cut, he shouldn't be in the corner as a trainer. That's old school.
That is old school. They're coming winding down in round number 6. This is an 8-round fight. Good right hand by Tito, and he lands a left hook. All right, we're going into the 7th round. We are coming down the stretch. Bracero well on his way to winning a decision unless something very strange happens. Slick move by Bracero.
You just say let something strange happen. This is boxing. What strange can happen?
Yeah, you're right.
A nice short right hand
by Miranda.
Yeah.
And Miranda's been 10 rounds many times, so going 8 shouldn't be any kind of problem for him, no kind of challenge.
And again, I think we're all a little surprised that his chin has held up as well as it has against Bracero. And maybe you're right. Bracero may need to go down a few pounds where he is a little bit quicker and can snap his punches off.
Right, a little more pop.
A little more pop.
And believe it or not, Tito Bracero was much safer on the ropes just now. Because Miranda was just looking to throw one shot, one hard shot.
Well, the crowd's oohing and eyeing. A terrific right hand and then a right uppercut landed by Bracero, but Miranda's still there. We are hearing from the Bracero fans in the audience. Bracero landing some big shots in this round. This is his best round since early in the fight.
See, he's at his best when he stays close in the pocket and he gives short angles around the guy. He's not that effective when he's moving straight back.
Well, he's done a real good job of both moving and punching in this round.
Yeah, and this whole fight is an example of the big difference between aggressiveness and effective aggressiveness, because Miranda's been the aggressor the whole fight. Yeah, we've given him, what, 1 round maybe.
Yeah, I give him 1 round. Bracero really having an excellent round, though. He's landing hard right hands to the head, hard left hooks, going to the body. And Miranda has had no answer to this at all. By no means has he quit, though.
Well, I did not expect him to quit. I mean, listen, he started his career at 15-1. So I didn't expect him to quit.
Well, as Steve pointed out, once you get that a couple of losses like that, they tend to get put in against killers, and that happened to him.
Yeah, you get comfortable losing too.
Yep. Well, we're coming to the end of round number 7. 10-second warning. Bracero lands a terrific left hook at the bell. This time, no punches after the bell. Round number 8. 8th and final round. Well, I don't know what Gabriel's strategy is going to be in this last round, but if he just continues doing what he did in the last round, he ought to be safe and be able to tuck this victory easily away.
Now he's showing some movement to open the round, and my guess is he knows he's ahead, and he also doesn't want to get cut anymore. So the further away he is from Miranda, for 1 round at least, the better.
And Miranda is helping him because he's more in a desperate state.
Well, let's see how desperate he is by moving forward the way he is, and he is moving forward. Did land a left hook there also.
Ooh, nice shove there. Referee Rosado. Wow.
Gary Rosado's a strong guy.
Yeah. Miranda went halfway across the ring.
Miranda took it well, though.
Just as he's taken the punches of Tito Bracero pretty well. And Bracero not doing anything too different in this round. He's still controlling the round. You can see that Miranda doesn't have the kind of power and just the pop in his punches to do any real damage as we wind down in the last minute of this fight.
Yeah, if he doesn't break you mentally with his pressure, he's not going to win the fight. And Tito Bracero is very mentally tough.
I think the two clash heads against the ropes.
Well, they've done a bunch of head bumping tonight.
But listen, Miranda knew he needed this round. He knew he needed a big round. He came out, trying to really establish himself, and he hasn't withered from it.
Oh, that is a terrific right hand. One of the best right hands landed in the whole fight by Bracero. And Miranda's still there. Another good right hand. Well, this fight looks like it's going to go the distance, Steve.
It does, as it usually does with Tito Bracero, and as has been the case in most of his performances on Broadway boxing, he's done enough to win. Not in a spectacular fashion, but in a steady fashion.
Well, they were looking for more speed from Bracero. There's the end of the fight. And not a bad performance at all by Tito Bracero.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge John McKay scores it 78-74. Judge Tony Paolillo scores it 79-73. And Judge Carlos Ortiz Jr. scores it 80-72. All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, Gabriel Tito Bracero.